Hi, I'm Tom from JFJ Wood Flooring. In this video, we're taking a closer look at our 15mm thick classic engineered oak flooring range. A really versatile option that strikes a great balance between quality, practicality, and value. I'm going to run through some of the key features, the structure, and the finishes, in the hope that by the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of whether the classic range could be the right fit for you and your project. So we're going to start by looking at the structure of the board. Our classic engineered oak flooring range is 15mm thick overall. Now, the first thing to note with 15mm or thinner engineered oak flooring is you start to see a little bit more variation across the market in terms of the structure of the floorboards. And knowing the structure of the floor that you're considering is really important. It's the structure that's going to give you the stability, the reliability, and also the feel of the floor underfoot. Our classic range, like all of the engineered floors we offer, is based on a multi-laminate plywood core. Simply put, this is made up of numerous layers of hardwood, each stuck in opposite directions to one another, and that provides the overall floorboard with much greater levels of stability. It makes it far less prone to expansion and contraction. Many other floorboards of this thickness that are on the market have a softwood or MDF core, which tend to be a little bit lighter weight and less stable overall. Above the plywood, we have a 4mm single strip solid piece of European oak, known as the wear layer. A 4mm wear layer is a substantial thickness of oak on top of this board. It can be sanded back numerous times, and it's certainly considered more than adequate for domestic use. We have made another video that covers the different wear layers and factors to consider when choosing a wear layer, so if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll link it in the description below. Our classic range is available in two different size boards. We have the classic 190mm wide and the classic 220mm wide. The 190 wide boards come in lengths of 1.9 meters and the 220 wide come in lengths of 2.2 meters. In the boxes, you can get some shorter boards. This just helps you stagger those end joints, but the large majority will be full length. The boards also have a small micro bevel along the long edges, but not on the ends. This too helps to elongate the boards and provide them with that free-flowing look. Longer and wider boards are really popular and they're very versatile in many ways, as large boards suit both modern contemporary properties but also traditional interiors as well. So moving on to the timber and the grade of the timber, our classic 190 and classic 220mm wide boards are actually two different grades, and if we start by looking at the classic 190, this is a select grade of timber. This means fewer knots are featured throughout the floor. You'll still get some colour variation and character, but less knots than a natural grade and certainly much less than rustic. The classic 220 wide is a natural grade. Now, we often describe natural grade as a sort of happy medium. It's perfect for those looking for a floor with a little bit of character, and most people want their floor to have some charm and characteristics, but some people don't want it to look too rustic or have too many knots and natural features, and that's exactly where a natural grade sits, which we've always found to be the most popular grade over the years. Another thing to keep in mind when considering knots in wood flooring isn't just the knots themselves, but also how the knots have been filled. Good quality engineered oak flooring will usually have the knots pre-filled to make the floor more practical. It prevents them from being rough underfoot or collecting dirt, and just makes the floor smoother and easier to live with. However, not all fillers look the same, and although it might seem like a small detail, it can make a noticeable difference to the overall look of the floor. In our classic range, we use a sawdust-based filler, which I'd describe as having a more natural, brown, and slightly more granular appearance, compared to putty-based fillers, which tend to look more solid in colour. Now, the sawdust-based filler is quite a unique feature in our classic and supreme ranges, and it's definitely something worth taking note of. In the past, we've had clients that think they want cleaner boards simply because they've seen filler that they didn't like. In many cases, a natural grade with a more subtle filler actually suits their taste much better. We've made a separate video which covers in more depth wood flooring finishes, their features, and their pros and cons. Finish is a really important factor to consider, as it will not only determine the look of the floor, but also its durability and its practicality for the intended environment it's to be installed in. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll include a link to that video in the description below, and I would suggest watching that one, particularly if your floor is to be installed in a high traffic environment or one of which is more susceptible to spills and stains. If we start by looking at the classic 190mm, this board comes pre-treated with a natural Walker hard wax oil finish. This finish is popular because of its traditional, timeless look. It keeps the oak nice and light, while still adding warmth and bringing the sort of character out of the timber. It also has a very matte appearance, giving the floor a soft, organic feel. In some cases, it may be best to apply additional coats or a coat of oil to the floor once it's installed. This really just depends on the nature of the rooms the flooring's to be installed in. If you're planning on applying further coats of oil to this floor after installation, it is recommended to test the compatibility first, and again, contact us with any questions. Our classic 220 wide is supplied as a finely sanded and untreated board. This means the floor does not require sanding, but will require finishing on site once the flooring is installed. This gives you the choice as to what is applied to the floor. It allows you to choose which finish not only looks exactly as you want it, but also performs as intended for the environment the flooring's to be installed in. So I hope this video has given you a better understanding of our classic engineered oak flooring range. If you'd like to talk through your project, compare options, or simply just get some honest advice, please don't hesitate to get in touch. We're a family business and we'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching.